Mark, how much, if at all, does the identity of your team have to bend to certain lineups, like the double big stuff for small ball or single big?
The identity shouldn't change. We want to be a compete together team. The system fundamentals shouldn't change. The system fundamentals are, baseline things that transcend position, transcend lineups. That's like individual defense. It's blockouts. It's floor spacing. It's how sharp we are in our two-man actions. Like that stuff doesn't change. So the identity of the team doesn't change. The schemes change, and that's where when you go small, changes the way you defend schematically, changes the way you attack schematically. But the reason we have those constants from the environment we have in our building to our compete together identity to our system fundamentals, the reason we have those so consistent is so that we can do different things and bend to different lineups and adapt to different skill sets of players and lineups.
You hit the 50 win mark tonight, fastest an OKC team has ever gotten to 50 games. Can you talk about your perspective, what this team, the level that they're at, that they can get there? No other West team has even gotten to 40 wins yet, just where this team is at, and even compared to last year.
Yeah, we're not comparing to other teams, and we're not comparing to last year. But I just told the team, I didn't think we played our best game, and we need to be present with every challenge, and we need to take advantage of every opportunity that's in front of us. But it is also a testament that we can be a little bit unsatisfied on a night where we win our 50th game. We can never take that for granted. It's hard to win 50 games in the NBA in a season. We obviously have a lot more we want to accomplish, but we also, there's people that have been in the room that, we're winning 22 games or 24 games or, scratching and clawing to get to 40. And so we're going to be grateful, for 50. And we can be grateful for that, and we can also be hungry at the same time. Both can be true, and both are true for us. But we don't take, 50-win season for granted ever.
Two-part question, Coach. You mentioned the third quarter, that shift that we saw. What did you see? What are some of the things that stood out the most out of that? And the second part of my question is just what did you see out of Chet Holmgren in his first game back since the ankle injury in Atlanta?
Chet's impactful, so when he's out there, even if he doesn't have his A game, he's going to impact the game, and he's still coming back from a larger period of time off. So we're not really evaluating his performance night to night. We're just trying to see an uptick week to week, and we will continue to, because he's a really good player. So, as for the shift, I think on a night like this where you're trying to find it and you're trying to get the engine to turn a little bit, that's where like the individual efforts of players matters. And I mentioned Kenrich to Myron's question. I thought Cason Wallace went in there in the first half and he took the energy to a different level. Like he wasn't being denied early. I thought Jay Will gave us a really good energetic lift in the first. And then I thought that group to start the third quarter, those guys made a decision coming out of halftime that we were going to have more energy and they were going to feel us more on both ends of the floor, and they did. And so it's important that guys take individual responsibility for their energy and what they're contributing to the team, and that stuff's contagious when you have a team as connected and competitive as us.
What did you like from the double big lineup tonight? It seems like the connection between Hartenstein and Holmgren is growing a little bit.
Yeah, we still haven't seen it, in maybe its most optimal form, which is against bigger teams that are like, just trying to play. Well, credit Houston. I thought they played well. Obviously, those are tough games. Those guys are good players, and they're motivated. They're getting opportunities that they don't normally have. And we're in the thick of a schedule here, so we had to get our energy going. And I thought we did that at halftime. The starting group gave us a great 8-minute run there of offense and defense to give us a cushion that we were able to sustain the rest of the game. So, credit them. It wasn't like our best energy game of the season, but they turned it on in that part.
And then, with Shai's night, he spoke pretty significantly about just the investment that he was making at the beginning of the season, the three-point shot. Are we seeing, as the year has gone on, just continued dividends of that, not just with the shots he's making from behind the arc, but what it's opening up for the rest of his offense too? Yeah,
and I think, if you look at his growth year over year, three-point shooting is definitely there. I think the blend of shooting and attacking and passing, early is definitely there. I just think he's got an unbelievable pace to him right now. You know, he's finding his stuff. He's attacking and really hitting the gas on some plays. And then there's other plays where he's just letting the defense tell him what to do and moving it to his teammates. And it's allowing for the rest of the team to play really well at the same time as him. So he deserves a lot of credit. And I think, you know, there's ups and downs in a regular season, but you know, if you look where he was a year ago, it's amazing how much improvement he's made despite being, you know, an elite player, an MVP candidate a year ago.
You scored 137 points, so you figured it out, but people throwing zones at you. They were going zone, man, kind of early on. I think you had like 4 turnovers at the first time out.
Yep.
How'd you get it figured out? What'd you change, I guess, or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, since All-Star break, we've seen very little base defense. It's crazy to think about, but we've played 7 games, and Atlanta threw some base stuff at us. San Antonio, that was mostly base in that game, but the rest of the games has been a combination of zone and double teaming and blitzing, and it's good for us because we're going to have to be able to pivot to different solutions. We were working some different things tonight, you know, with our lineups and with our attacks. Like, we've got some stuff that we are pretty confident in. We were developing some other stuff in the game, so if it was a little bit rough at times, that's probably on me. But it's good for us to have to confront all these different menu items because we're going to need it all at different points.
You had like, I guess I call them shock troops. You had Kasem in there, Caruso, Wiggins. It seemed like Kendricks really kind of gave you a boost in that second quarter to kind of get things going for you. Talk about his game.
Yeah, I mean, we're on the second night of a back-to-back, 2 different cities. It's our 7th game since All-Star break in, I think, 13 days in 6 different cities. And Kenrich Williams is like the kind of guy you want in those situations. Like, there's a grit to him and a professionalism to him where, you know, we need this from him. When our energy's down, he's an energy giver, and he's got a contagiousness to him. And I thought he brought that, especially, you know, in the first half tonight, really throughout his minutes, but in the first half, especially when we were kind of like in mud to start the game.
Mark, last year one of the major topics of discussion was rebounding. You guys were bottom 5 in rebound percentage and rebounds per game. This year, you guys are knocking on the door of being a top 20 team. I know you guys have been crashing more, but between the personnel and strategy, what do you think are the biggest, I guess, contributing factors to you guys improving this year?
I mean, you want to win the possession battle, you know, and turnovers on both ends do that, and we've been great at that, obviously, for a long time. But you also don't want to, like, concede rebounds as a result of that. And so I think the fundamentals of crashing, fundamentals of blocking out have accumulated over time. I think our returning players have gotten pretty good at that, and I think Hartenstein's helped with that. He's played a lot of minutes, and he helps your team on both ends on the glass. And so it's definitely in a good spot. And if we can rebound the ball offensively, defensively, limit our turnovers, force turnovers, you're widening your margin for error in a game that you're doing those things.